Reparations is not for slavery. Slavery was not abolished. You can't get reparations for something that hasn't stopped happening. Slavery was rebranded as prison labor. Read the 13th Amendment. So reparations can't be for slavery because slavery is still happening. Reparations is for the 150 years afterwards that followed slavery, the 150 years of racial terrorism and slavery. Reparations is for the 65 cities that were burned down by white neighbors, the 65 black cities that were burned down by white neighbors. Reparations is for that. Reparations is for Jim Crow laws that put people back into prison for prison labor, which is slavery. Reparations for black codes that put people back into prison for prison labor, which is slavery. Reparation is for the war on drugs, which was admittedly a war on black people and anti-war activists to put them back into prison, which is slavery. Reparations is for the prominent neighborhoods that were torn down to build up highways. All those prominent black neighborhoods. Google the Ronald neighborhood. That's a prime example. They tore that neighborhood down, put a concrete slab over it, and 2 years later they started construction on Highway 94. They had a better route that was quicker. It used less material. It was cheaper, but it did not tear down the black community, so they cannot use it. Reparations is not for slavery. Reparations is for the death of Martin Luther King Jr. In 1999, there was a court case in the United States. 6 white jurors and 6 black jurors took 1 hour to deliberate, and they found the United States government liable for the death of Martin Luther King Jr. Reparations is not for slavery. Reparations is for the soldiers who came back and were hung, lynched in uniform. Reparations is for the strange fruit that Billy sang about. Reparations is not for slavery. Reparations is for the numerous amount of black people who can't swim and they don't know why. They have no idea that they weren't allowed to swim for many, many years. So their grandparents didn't know how to swim and couldn't teach their parents how to swim. Reparations is not for slavery. Reparations is for the 1,500 black men who were framed in Alabama by the police. Reparations is not for slavery. Reparations is for the 3,500 mostly black children that were sold to the justice system in a scandal called Kids for Cash in Pennsylvania. Reparations is not for slavery. Reparations is not for slavery. Reparations is for all of the black people whose land was stolen. Reparations is not for slavery. Reparations is for the black men who were hung, all those black businessmen who were hung. Reparations is not for slavery. Reparations is for those children who were beaten to death by white women, and the women were set free because the law was called the Miss Ann Law, wherein if you beat a black child to death, you didn't go to jail. Reparations is not for slavery. Reparations is for the Casual Killing Act that made it legal to beat a black person to death with no consequences. The reparations is not for slavery. Reparations is for redlining that pushed black people into one small area and they could not move out because they were not allowed to. They couldn't buy homes anywhere else. Reparations is not for slavery. Reparations is for the city of Ferguson that is being targeted by the police in just a systematic, racist way that is so obvious the DOJ had to get involved. Reparations is not for slavery. Reparations is for the 150 years of racial terrorism, the theft, the rape, the murder, the mass incarceration of black people. Reparations is not for slavery. Peace.